Trying something different today. I parked over in what I'm decided I'm going to call the Banshee Zone. Just, you know, I'm gonna have a walk to the gate anyway, so why not try a little shade, try a little tree, try a little being over towards the Great Wolf Lodge in case I do get curious and see if that's a viable lobby to have a cup of coffee in. Just make the little walk over there. I don't actually know that you can successfully walk over there still, so that's just why am I curious about that? I don't know. Why am I showing you details of where I've parked? I don't know. You saw the actually autistic hashtag on this video. You know what you're in for. I regret to have to tell everyone that I've had an idea. I've been trying to avoid having ideas for videos since I changed the focus of the since I changed the channel. Remember when that meant something else? Yes, you do, because the median age of my viewers is ridiculously old for YouTube. My idea this week is, look, I have a roller coaster shirt on. My idea this week is I'm going to ride Orion all day. That's my idea for what I'm going to do. I'm going to shoot whatever, because that's the only way I can do this now. So I don't know what you're going to see, but that's what I'm going to be doing, more or less. Although honestly, they were testing this and I'm kind of tempted. No, I'm not rope dropping that. That's ridiculous. We're here about 5 minutes before open right now. Also, like, my visit isn't gonna change. Like, when I say I'm gonna ride Orion all day, I don't mean I'm staying any longer than usual. I mean that just, you know, when it's time for me to ride a ride, I'm just gonna keep riding Orion. And if I decide it's time to do something else, I'll do that. Although I don't see Orion testing. Ha. This is what's happening at Flight of Fear, a ride I still haven't been on because reportedly it's trash and is even more trash if you are a tall person. Yeah, I was a little slow to get here, I think, but I think it's also just gonna be a real crowded day. And honestly, if the lines are too long and this process is too slow, I might just bail. I'm gonna start with a back row ride today. Nice full-ish station. I was just waved in and we could stand whatever row we want. Thanks to my man right there. Would you look at this nonsense? Okay, yeah, I think today is gonna go fine. So some of what I wanna do today is just get really familiar with the ride while also like staying in my body. I've caught myself in my last few visits, because I am very familiar with all the rides here, I've caught myself kind of leaving my body on them actually, of just like experiencing the airtime and whatever, you know, that still gets my attention, but of also just like not being present. And I want to focus on being really present while also repeating a ride and learning it a little bit. And I'll get into more about why later. Now, one upside of, or at least something else I've experienced lately that's good, is I haven't been getting as much of like the ride sickness from riding things in quick succession. Like, maybe my body has unlearned that. I don't know. We're gonna see what happens here. I just watched a guy had to get back off the ride because he wouldn't verify on it. That was me on just about everything at California's Great America in 2016. It's no fun. I am gonna take a couple minutes to walk it off after that second ride. I was in the second row, and a guy in the first row had sunglasses on that, well, okay, I'll start at the beginning. The other people in the second row with me told me when, you know, the ride hit the brake run, oh, something hit me. It hit me right there on my thumb. You can see a little red mark. And then suddenly we hear from a woman in the row behind us saying, hey, I caught someone's sunglasses. How did she catch them? And then a guy in the front was like, oh, yeah, those are mine. Dear Kings Island, please consider requiring straps on people's sunglasses on your more intense coasters. That's very lucky that woman caught those, and it's very lucky that nobody got a more serious injury. Wow. Welcome to my office. Yeah, I had to pay full price for the meal this time. Not sure what made the difference there. Didn't even get a pass holder discount. So, ever since mid-April, I have been living in what has like every symptom of just kind of permanent survival mode in the nervous system. And of course, mid-April is when I started my job. And that, as we've discussed before, is the most likely candidate for what is doing this to me. But it has also been since mid to late April, when the park opened, that I have been regularly coming and giving my nervous system regular, intense doses of like, here's a sensation that's an emergency. You're being thrown out of your seat. You know, and I wonder, have I been doing something the whole time that has been contributing to like sleep not really being restful and bad digestion and like this whole list of symptoms? And I don't think so. And apparently I'm happy to keep doing it. Anyway, my second row ride was actually substantially less upsetting than that first ride, which was in the back row of Orion. I had, you know, the airtime on the first hill in the back is stronger, and it was more of a whoa, what's happening situation. Whereas in the second row, it's just kind of cozy and a good feeling. That's really odd. Also, the trim brakes. Sorry. The trim brakes are also less, I don't know, shocking. The trim brakes are a little less like, they don't hit you with the kind of force, or at least I didn't experience it on that train. Those are going to be different from ride to ride because it's based on how much the train actually weighs and how fast it's going. So I don't know. That's probably nothing. But I think I might focus on the front half of the train today. The reason onion rings are worse than fries is twofold. First, they don't pack very well, so you get fewer of them. And second, they are more fried. Like, I'm not saying fries aren't fried. I'm just saying these are more fried. And they're both a little more gross and strangely a little more satisfying. Rude. We're about an hour into our day here. That was an early lunch. I'm gonna try to get at least 3 more rides. Looks like it is still probably a staircase wait here. All right, not too much more. We're at the back of the line here. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Excuse me, sir? Sir? Excuse me, sir? Excuse me, sir. So the Beast and Flight of Fear are the 2 rides in the park that are like, they're the 30-year restaurants of Kings Island. You know, they're the rides that people keep going on, not because they're still great, but because people learned that they are the great rides and they don't want to relearn anything. I think what we're looking at here is the stage upon which Flight of Fear became one of those rides. Because the thing about both the Beast and Flight of Fear is that they both had maybe the greatest marketing campaigns that rides at a Six Flags park at least have ever seen. The Beast's marketing campaign was just itself. It was original and singular. It didn't look like a wooden roller coaster it ever looked. It was the biggest, the tallest, the fastest, etc. It was a nationwide sensation. Like the Flight of Fear, while it was being built at least at Kings Island and Kings Dominion, and it did get built at some other park, I think maybe not at the same time, but it had maybe the greatest deliberate marketing campaign in theme park history. They basically staged a year-long, slow, immersive theater project during the year before Flight of Fear's opening. And I'm pretty sure this here was the spot where they staged it, just kind of for geographical reasons. I don't think they would have put a hole here for Orion's sake. I think this was where they staged the UFO crash and the occasional like agents who would come out here and do a thing when people were looking at them, which people were when they came out. And that was for the entire year before the opening of Flight of Fear. Now, Flight of Fear, if it's not clear, is in this building over here. And like the interior queue of Flight of Fear is also allegedly really, really cool. I've never seen it because you have to wait through this first, and I don't feel motivated just to see the queue. And I don't want to go on the ride because it is painful if you're a large person and also kind of a boring ride, allegedly. Think I can get out back this way? Huh. All right, never mind. Yeah, also you might note this line is not moving. Yeah, I don't have that ride under my belt and I don't plan to get it. Let's get this. And so now I'm experiencing my first moment of resistance here, and this has become a little bit of a test of endurance because I kind of don't want to get in that line. You know, like this is a little bit not enough novelty for me now. And I just did another ride in the second row, but on the right side this time. Very different. I can't believe I just said that either. The Discount Orion merch booth has dialed it up to 70%. Yeah, I'm never gonna get Flight of Fear. I'm never gonna get this because it's trash and it's closed now, and rumor has it it's not reopening next year. Also, there's like 2 of the kiddie coasters that I haven't been on. One of them I don't fit on, and the other is an invert and just looks boring. I fully claim to be a roller coaster enthusiast, and yet I behave this way. No apologies. Just came back out to the car because I don't know, I just want a little quiet. I managed to park in some shade. I can reapply my sunscreen, or I could just go do something else. Yeah, I got 3 rides total. Which is honestly usually about how many roller coasters I ride when I come here, and maybe that's my limit. I just feel sort of self-conscious because I went and like discovered this new whole side that I hadn't been paying attention to of my favorite ride in the park, of this like just increased level of gentleness. This is not what I expected to happen today. But I think it's been really rewarding. I am gonna see if I can walk over to Great Wolf Lodge, because who's gonna stop me other than that one police vehicle over there? I do wonder if they're here to make sure that pass holders don't like park here and then go off and do a bunch of other shit. I don't know. All right, so there is an actual path. Or there's 2? Why is that happening? Oh, they just joined. Fascinating content. And it does indeed lead right over here. Huh. There's dogs. So they have a Dunkin' Donuts.